ESSER funds, please check in with Ms. Williams. Okay, cool. Cool, thank you. All right, since it is 6:59 p.m., I am going to go ahead and call this meeting to order with a reminder to silence your electronic devices, one and all. And a reminder that we are going to have a video and audio recording of this school board meeting as we always do. It will be available on our YouTube channel. Mrs. Williams, can I get a roll call, please?
Yes, Madam Chair. Mr. Paul Alexander.
Here.
Ms. Stacy Cyberling.
Here.
Dr. Shantae Jones.
Here.
Ms. Rachel Kirkland.
Here.
Madam Chair, Ms. Ellen Slobodnik will not be attending this evening.
Very good. And before I start us in the Pledge of Allegiance this evening, I would like to have a moment of silence in memory of Chris Greco. Thank you. Please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Do we have any additions or corrections to the agenda?
No.
Seeing none, can I get a motion for approval of the agenda?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Seeing no opposition, motion carries. All right. Moving on to the consent agenda. I know we've all had a chance to review that. Can I get a motion for that, please?
Move to approve consent agenda.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Seeing no opposition, that motion carries. All right, public hearing on MPCS use of AARP ESSER funds. So we're going to go ahead and open the public hearing. The purpose of this public hearing is to allow comments directly related to the AARP ESSER funds guidelines. Citizens wishing to speak must sign in. When called to the podium, please provide your name and Manassas Park City address, or if staff, job title and work location here at Manassas Park City Schools. Each person is allotted 3 timed minutes to make comments. Mrs. Williams will let you know when you have reached your 3 minutes. Mrs. Williams, since we've opened the public hearing, do we have anyone to comment?
No, Madam Chair.
Okay. All right, I will go ahead and close the public hearing, and it says I'm supposed to thank everyone for their comments, but I'll just move on. All right. Moving on to Superintendent Spotlight.
Madam Chair, I'd like Dr. Grosser to come forward. We've got some great things to celebrate.
All right, good evening, Madam Chair and members of the board. We do have several exciting things to spotlight tonight, so we're going to go ahead and dive right in. First, we want to take a moment to recognize the contribution of our school bus drivers. Now, if you don't know, I think we all know this, school bus drivers get up really early in the morning. So we did invite them to come to a 7 o'clock meeting, but I think most of them go to bed shortly after. So through Patty Hurley, our Director of Transportation, we have arranged for them to be watching the meeting with us tonight, so they are going to see this presentation and they will hear your comments. School bus drivers play an important role in the school division. They're often the first face our students see in the morning and the last face that they see in the afternoon. They have the opportunity to set the tone for the day. I can tell you that every interaction that I've had with a bus driver in Manassas Park has shown me how positive, energetic, and committed to our students that our drivers really are. But it's easy to hear that from me. I thought, if we really want to know the truth, who should we ask? And you know what the answer was in my head? 7th graders. They're going to tell us the truth. So I went into Manassas Park Middle School the other day, and I asked those 7th graders a couple of questions about their bus drivers, and here's what they had to say. Hopefully you can hear this. I'll move out of your way.
All right, who's your favorite bus driver and why?
Miss Christina, because she was always so kind and sweet to me and my brother, and she would always help us. I don't love her because she would give us tackies whenever we asked her. I love her because she was very kind and sweet.
That's awesome. Okay, and why do you think bus drivers drivers are important in school systems?
Because not all kids can get transported by their parents, and it's nice to have like public transportation to get us from and to school. That's why I think it's important.
Okay, who's your favorite bus driver and why?
My favorite bus driver was my 5th grade bus driver. Her name was Miss Connie. I really liked her because she was just really nice and funny, and she was always just kind to us kids and a good time on the bus.
And why do you think bus drivers are important?
I think it's important because if sometimes kids can't get a ride to school from their parents, or if their other legal guardians are at work and can't happen to pick them up, they can always take the bus to school.
So tell me what bus you ride.
I ride bus 23 and bus 18.
Okay, and who are your bus drivers?
Miss Isabella and Mr. Granados.
Okay, and one of those bus drivers has a pretty close relationship to you, right? Who is that?
Yes, bus 18, Mr. Granados. He's my dad.
Okay, and what does it mean to ride a bus driven by your dad?
It's very comforting knowing that my dad's always there for me.
Okay, why are bus drivers important?
I think bus drivers are important because they get up really early to help kids get to and from school.
Okay, so tell me about your favorite bus driver and why they're your favorite bus driver.
My favorite bus driver was Miss Ruthie, or Miss Tyree. She was my 5th grade bus driver, but she retired, and she was my favorite because every time before we left to go to the school, she would always teach like life lessons in the back of the bus, and then like to me throughout that year it was very helpful.
All right, why are bus drivers important?
Because throughout the year when they drive you to school and then when you first talk to them, you can actually make like real connections with them, and then they're like your friend that like drives you like to school and back.
So if you've ever been in a middle school classroom and you've asked a question, and you picture how many students raise their hand eager to answer you, when I went in and I said, how many students in here have a favorite bus driver from when they've been in school? Every student raised their hand. So I think that right there really highlights the power of our bus drivers in building relationships with our kids. So I hope bus drivers, if you're watching us out there, I hope you enjoyed.
All right, who's your favorite?
Let me go to the next slide. There we go. Okay. Next up, Miss Carrie Reardon, teacher at Manassas Park Middle School, recently entered a competition through WUSA 9 called the Eco Challenge. Miss Reardon entered the challenge to get additional funds for her school garden project. Out of all the submissions in the DMV, Miss Reardon was selected as one of the winners. Last week, WUSA 9 came to the school to surprise her and her students with the news. And I'll tell you, she's in the back there. She can back me up that she did not know they were coming. So when you see her on TV here, just know this was totally a surprise for her, but she did a great job. So we're going to show the story now. We hope you enjoy.
I'm Darren Haynes, and we are at Manassas Park Middle School, home of the Cougars, and we are in for a treat because one of their teachers is about to be surprised, Carrie Reardon. Her class is one of the winners of our Eco Challenge. Let's go inside the school and surprise her with the news. Oh man, this is nice. Miss Tuttle.
Welcome to Manassas Park Middle School. We're so glad you're here.
I'm happy to be here. Does Miss Reardon know?
Doesn't know. We're going to go surprise her now.
That's right. Hi, Miss Reardon.
Hi.
Good, how are you? You see some of your students here?
I do, yes.
You don't know why you're here, do you?
No, I have no idea.
Do you remember that submission you made for the Eco Challenge?
Yes, I do.
We have a surprise for you.
Okay.
You won.
Yes. That is so awesome.
Talk about your submission and what that project was.
Well, we have a school garden here, and what we're trying to do is improve the quality of the school garden right now with this grant, and just to teach the students a little bit more about gardening and nature.
But we're not done.
Okay.
Part of the surprise is to help you with your experiment, and we're here to bring in...
Oh my God!
$5,000, Ms. Reardon, on behalf of Washington Gas, congratulations, you are a winner of the Eco Challenge, and $5,000 to make this project.
awesome.
I'm pretty excited because I've already been in the garden once with her. You can learn while also having fun with other people.
This really opens a door for us to invite our community and business leaders into our schools and work with our students and really be partners in education with us. And I think through this garden, we can then give back, because I know Ms. Reardon's hope is we can grow some things here that we can then give back to our community.
Thank you, Washington Gas.
I love how the kids are so invested in the success of it. So.
Yeah, and by the way, soon the Smithsonian Education Science Center will meet with the teacher and students to help them develop their project.
Oh, that was going to be my ending there. So this week, I believe on Wednesday, we do have the Smithsonian along with WUSA coming back to the school. So this wasn't just a one-time deal. They're going to come back and follow up on our garden and do follow-up stories on the news about all the great things going on in the school. That's why we wanted to really kind of bring home the whole idea of giving back to the community and being, active citizens within our community. So congratulations, Carrie. Great job. Come on. We'll get you right here, and I can kind of get some of this in here.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
All right, 1, 2. Hang on, I'm in movie mode because I was recording those students. Okay, try again. Just kidding. All right, 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Congratulations. Oh, there we go. All right. Next up tonight, each spring at the VSBA Regional Spring Networking Forums, an art contest is held to showcase art from the region. Each school division submits an elementary, middle, and high school entry in the art contest. The artwork is judged, and the artwork selected for first place is shared throughout the year with the membership and spotlighted at the annual VSBA convention. So tonight we are going to show off the 3 pieces of artwork from Manassas Park Schools that will be going up in the competition. So first we have, hang on, I've got to get these so I can get them in the camera because you've got to see these. All right, first up, this is from Yara Rodriguez, and I left the sticky note on it because this is called Banana. Okay, well, so Yara is with us. Yara, would you like to, here, come on up. You can hold this. And I think Yara's going to tell us, why did you choose banana?
I don't know. It look like banana.
Well, it is fruit, right? Okay, we're in the same way. Okay, next up we have, I think Mayeli Hernandez from Manassas Park is with us tonight. Come on up. Okay, and did yours have a name? And yours is named Spiderweb? Did you have a reason why you came up with that name?
Because it's one of her songs.
It's one of her songs? Great. All right, great job. And I don't know Jacqueline. Jacqueline here tonight? I'm not sure if Jacqueline from the high school is here, but you can see Jacqueline's drawing. Great work, you guys. Congratulations. Stand right up here. We're going to take a picture. You can go right around the front there. That was so cool. Look at this one. I love the colors. Oh, that's cool. All right, ready, guys? 1, 2. And finally, tonight, we want to take a moment to recognize Teacher Appreciation Week. Last week was Teacher Appreciation Week 2023. We take that week to appreciate our teachers and staff for their year-long effort in providing our students with a safe, positive, challenging, and engaging learning environment. As part of that week, Dr. Saunders chose to collect some snaps to share with staff members. A staff member could send a message to her to share with a colleague about why they're appreciated. I just wanted to share a little handful of those with you. Your hard work and dedication to this school goes unmatched. Thank you for being a teacher I look up to. Snaps and claps for the best co-teacher, friend, coach, writer, and human being there is. Your relationship building with students and those around you is truly special, and I strive to be more like you every day. Thank you for all you do. And finally, the last one, dude, seriously the best. Rock on. Thank you to our teachers. That concludes our spotlight.
Fantastic. Any comments from the board? We'll start with Miles.
I do this every time. I just really want to congratulate everybody again. First off, shout out to all the bus drivers. I've been riding the bus since I was in second grade, and I remember the first day. I was so nervous to be on the bus, but the moment I saw my bus driver's face, just like one of the students said, I kind of felt at home. So I just wanted to shout out my bus drivers, my current bus driver, Mr. Granados, Miss Barry, Miss Connie, Mr. Eugene, Miss Elena, and Miss Joanne. Thank you all so much for being willing to create that relationship with not only me, but the rest of my fellow peers. And shout out to Miss Reardon. I saw she left. Yeah. But shout out to Miss Reardon. I had Miss Reardon. I can brag about that. She was probably one of the best science teachers I ever had. And to see that her garden is going to get the attention that it deserves is really exciting. And last but not least, congratulations to Jacqueline, Yara, and Mayeli. I hope I'm saying that right. I cannot wait to see more artwork from you guys in the future. And yeah.
I echo what Miles said. Thank you to all of the bus drivers. You all are heroes. So thank you for what you do. It does not go, we don't take it lightly. What you do does not go unnoticed. And hopefully they were able to hear everything the students had to say. Also, Ms. Reardon, congratulations. So excited to see what this garden is going to do for the community and for the school. And excited that we get that partnership with the Smithsonian so they can help to continue to watch it thrive. Also, all the art students, congratulations. Your artwork is amazing. Keep doing what you're doing. I know you're just going to get better and better, and I'm excited to see what the future holds for you all. And then Teacher Appreciation Week, I cannot say thank you enough to all of the teachers out there. Your work it's amazing work. I know that, it's sometimes a thankless job, but I just wanted to make sure that we said thank you for everything that you do. I've been a teacher, so I understand. So thank you all, and I know your students appreciate you, the community appreciates you, and your school district appreciates you. So thank you.
I know we try not to, beat a dead horse with everybody. We're saying the same things, but again, Teacher Appreciation Week. I mean, for the teachers that are out there and listening, it should be Teacher Appreciation Year, life, whatever. I mean, you guys do so much. I will never be able to truly express how grateful we are for what you do for our kids. The art show, we went to the district art show. We actually got to see what the other schools were putting up as well. I just want to tell you guys did an amazing job. Your artwork was some of the best ones there. We really appreciate your submissions and all your hard work. The bus drivers, I still remember my favorite bus drivers from just a few years ago. Honestly, it's not just getting the kids to and from school, though. It's the hours that you guys put in driving the kids to William Monroe High School down in Standardsville. It's all of those extra hours and that for all those away games and getting them to and from, and then up the next morning right back at it. So thank you again. I really cannot tell you how much we appreciate it. And even a few years ago, helping with food distribution with COVID, you guys were out there, delivering lunches. And it goes without being. It doesn't get said enough how much wonderful things you guys have done in transportation, and thank you guys so much.
All right. So we're going to start off with the bus drivers. Thank you. And it is so much more than just driving a bus. It's a lot more. And just so I've learned recently that there's more that qualifies them to be a bus driver. It's not just the smile and ability to make a right turn in a bus, but they also need to know how to repair the bus if it breaks down, do minor repairs. They also have to go through some medical testing to make sure they don't pass out at the bus. So there's a lot more that goes into being a bus driver. It can't just be anybody. And obviously, when they greet our students, a cheerful disposition helps as well. But thank you to our bus drivers. Miss Reardon, amazing teacher as well, and there's only good things that come from a garden, to be honest. So I think that's it.
Being the board chair, you get to speak last, but then everyone said everything. Thank you to our teachers. Appreciation always. It shouldn't be a week. It should be every day. It is the hardest, speaking as an educator, it is harder than you can possibly imagine. To our artists, some tremendous work. The SBA's art show is always fun to see, and we always have such incredibly talented artists who represent us so well. So thank you for coming out. Banana is truly an inspired name for your composition. Kudos. The bus drivers, just such a special place in the heart of so many kids, and your work is so appreciated. In an education community, in a school division, everyone is a teacher, from bus drivers to custodians to classroom teachers. We all have a role to teach our children, and some of the most valuable lessons you get are from your bus drivers. And what else? I know I'm missing something.
Ms. Reardon.
Oh, Miss Reardon. Miss Reardon. I was thrilled when I saw that video, and she always has done such amazing work for science and to really engage students in scientific endeavors, and it is really well deserved. So that is all for that. Moving on to public comments. I'm going to read some rules. I stick to my rules very closely. Individuals who wish to address the school board should sign the list maintained on the desk in front of the school board clerk. That'd be the one, Mrs. Williams, right over there, prior to the start of a regular board meeting. When called to the podium, please provide your name and Manassas Park City address, or if you're staff, job title, work location. We limit our comments to community members and staff, stakeholders. Each person is allotted 3 timed minutes to make comments. Mrs. Williams will let you know when you have reached your 3 minutes. And at 3 minutes, all comments are over. The board does not give feedback to your comments or questions during public comments time. Should your comments warrant a response, Dr. Saunders, that lovely person over there, will work with staff to address the concerns, questions raised, and will provide a response in a timely fashion. Now, with all of that said, Mrs. Williams, do we have anyone signed for public comments?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Okay, go ahead and take it from the top, and please let me know when you're ready to start counting the 3 minutes.
Great, thank you. Osk Honeycutt.
Yes, up to the board. You state your name and your address.
I am Osk Honeycutt of 9219 Andrew Drive.
Okay. Ready? We're good.
My name is Osk, and I am a proud member of the LGBT community. It's come to my attention that one of the very few books depicting the experiences of LGBT people has come under fire. I acknowledge that when you take a single frame from a 240-page memoir out of context and display it as if it were the central theme of the piece, it's shocking. It's especially disturbing to those who believe that homosexuality and transgenderism is wrong and sinful. The fact is, a high school library is filled with books containing references to heteronormative sexual behavior. In the Diary of Anne Frank, for example, it contains a passage in which she describes inserting objects into her vagina. And yet, it is a memoir of incredible literary importance. In so many such cases, we are able to acknowledge that sexuality is a part of the human experience, and that brief references to sexuality do not define a piece of work as pornography. While the incredibly selective nature of this outrage may not be evident to those leading this charge, I can assure you that that hypocrisy is not lost on the young members of the LGBT community who utilize that library. Why are only books that contain passages of LGBT sexuality being challenged? The answer is simple. We live in a society where homophobia and transphobia are still very prevalent. Those leading this charge would find this memoir offensive even if the 2 pages that contain anything even remotely graphic were removed, because it validates and affirms the author's transgender identity. When I was young, I, like every other young queer person, was constantly inundated with messages that the way that I was born, who I am at my core, is wrong and sinful and disgusting. These messages are incredibly damaging to young people, and I assure you that it is no different today. That is why books like Genderqueer are so important. They allow LGBT teenagers to see their experiences reflected back to them. They foster a sense of pride in their identity and help them to find hope for the future. They need access to gender-affirming literature. They are 5 times more likely to commit suicide than their peers, and depriving them of gender-affirming literature has very real and deeply damaging consequences. Even if I am the only person today who speaks against the removal of this book, you must know that mine is not the minority opinion of the general population. This very same book was challenged in 2021 in Fairfax County schools. And after extensive review and consideration from a well-qualified committee, the book was restored to their collection. They determined that the book was not obscene or harmful to juveniles and went on to say that the content referenced in the complaint does not go substantially beyond customary limits of candor in description or representation, is not the dominant theme, and is significant to the development of the main character, therefore contributing to the book's literary value. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Next, Rue Honeycutt.
Hi, my name's Rue. I'm at 9219 Andrew Drive as well. Weird. I want to say, first of all, thank you for having the meeting, and also thank you to bus drivers. I have friends that are bus drivers, and they're awesome. I just want to backpack off what Osk was saying. Also, a queer person, and my experiences throughout school were extremely unpleasant. I was called slurs on the regular. I was told that I was a hairy man. I was told that I was sinful and filled with shame. I also was raised in a very Christian household. My family trying to get me away from that and the schools that were too liberal. I was then homeschooled, so I spent a lot of time in isolation, which caused me to be extremely depressed. When I entered into adulthood, I found a wonderful community that just welcomed me in. I was exposed to just amazing literature that also validated that experience and told me that I was valued as a human, and that I had worth and that it was okay. I now work in an emergency room. I love my job, and unfortunately, I do get to experience young kids that come in, startlingly young children that come in with suicidal ideation, and we put them through the medical process before helping them go to facilities. And oftentimes they feel unheard, they feel isolated, and they feel ashamed. And being one of the first people to interact with them in the healthcare system and ask them something as simple as, what pronouns do you prefer? What name do you prefer? Do you need me to not do that in front of your parents? What can we do to cover and protect you while you're here? I find it especially disheartening that it is 2023 and that is still a regular occurrence. I find it disheartening that things that just reflect somebody's experiences that are there to encourage children, to help them explore their identity and become the adults that will then integrate into society and become valued members of said society, are things that can be taken away, and children are forced back into isolation and secrecy and have to go to things like the internet or their friends to try to figure out, is this okay, is this normal? So I hope that that is taken into consideration, that it's more than just removing a book. It is removing what could be somebody's lifeline. So thank you for letting me talk, and I hope you guys have a good night.
Mrs. Williams?
Mark Din.
Please state your name and address.
My name is Mark, and I live at 9415 Elm Court. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mark Din, and I'm a 16-year-old student attending Manassas Park High School. Today I stand before you to alert you and the community of the presence of pornographic materials in our libraries, including child pornography. School libraries stand as an integral pillar of our educational system, serving as rich reservoirs of knowledge, discovery, and personal development. They are sanctuaries where our young minds are encouraged to explore, learn, and grow through literature, research, and diverse educational resources. These libraries contribute significantly to the intellectual and emotional maturing of us students. The materials found within a school library should inspire curiosity, foster critical thinking, and cultivate a love for learning. They should supplement classrooms to promote cultural and social awareness and natural empathy, respect, and understanding. It is within these hollowed walls that we should be introduced to a variety of ideas, cultures, and perspectives, all appropriate for our ages and development stage. Yet on Tuesday, 25th, 2023, I discovered a book in my school library named Gender Queer. Its pages were filled with LGBTQ propaganda, encouraging young children toward acts of genital mutilation, and to my dismay, it contained child pornography. Less than 2 weeks later, on Friday, May 5th, 2023, I made another alarming discovery. An online book from my school library catalog called Fun Home was also riddled with explicit LGBTQ propaganda. It contained graphic depictions of two women engaged in oral intercourse and an unsettling scene where a minor observed a naked dead man being surgically opened and his genitalia exposed. I respectfully call on our school board to take a strong stance against this presence of inappropriate materials in our libraries. I recommend that these books be immediately removed from the collections.
Thank you. Mrs. Williams?
James Day.
My name is James Day. I live at 9234 Matthew Drive, Manassas Park. First of all, I'm encouraged by Mark's courage to come and bring this very hard topic to the school board for your consideration. Pornography of any kind, to include children or child pornography, is not appropriate in the high school where it now sits. The state of Virginia also agrees, and Virginia law basically defines what pornography and child pornography is. And it seems like as this is becoming more and more apparent, I as a parent am finding that this pornography and this child pornography material in our school library that is accessible to minors is not appropriate and does not comply with Virginia's legal definition of what pornography and child pornography are. I'm very concerned then as a parent that this material should be basically immediately removed from the library and access online be blocked. Beyond that, what I would like to encourage the board to consider is to take steps from having this happen again. How is it that this material is deemed appropriate for minors and the content in the first place placed in our school library system? What process is used for scrutinizing this material before it's placed into the library? How does it comply with state law and those penalties against the dissemination of child pornography and pornography? If during your investigations you deem that it needs to be better oversight on how this material is put into the library, then I would recommend a school board set up and work closely with the parental review board and ensuring that their recommendations be acted upon both promptly and effectively. In conclusion, the power to affect change lies in our hands. By implementing these solutions, I think we can work closely to creating a safer, more nurturing and learning environment, one that respects the rule of law and fosters a culture of respect and understanding. My Christian faith and 15 years as a Sunday school teacher and elder show just how critical it is to guard our children against what they're exposed to. Jesus Christ even considered these matters as having a very eternal significance, and he warned against doing things against children and what they're exposed to in Matthew chapter 8, verse 16, when he said, "Whoever causes these little ones to stumble and who believe in me to sin, it would be better to have them have a great millstone fastened around their neck and drowned in the depth of the sea." It is eternally significant. You all have a very important responsibility. It's critical. And I think if you work with the parents, teachers, former Sunday school teachers to really look at this material and come up with a solution, I think you can find something that benefits all. Along with the parents, you're custodians of the children's education and moral upbringing.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
All right. Anyone else?
Dawn Hayford.
Name and address, please.
My name is Dr. Dawn Hayford, and I live at 102 Walden Street, Manassas Park.
Thank you. Are you ready, Ms. Williams? Perfect.
As a parent, a person who considers herself fairly well educated, I've read a lot of different books. Some of those in my free time, some of them at school, in high school, and then later in college. And I'm going to name some of the books I read in high school that I would say shaped my life. Beloved, When Rabbit Howls, Girl Interrupted. I would argue that all three of those books are probably considered pornographic by somebody's standards. But they're great literature. They tell stories that are important to be heard. Would I let my 9-year-old read them? No. But at 17, 16, yeah, I think I could handle it. And I think it gave me a very good skill set. And that was learning how to understand other people and understand other points of view. As a Christian, I grew up in a very conservative household. And it wasn't until last year that I realized I was queer. And this is the first time I'm saying that in a public setting. And it was through hearing other people's stories that I realized that I don't have to look like any other queer person to be valid in my gender identity and in my sexuality. And it is important for our children to know that no matter what they feel, no matter how they feel, no matter what their truth is, that it is okay, that they are valid, that they deserve to have a life, to have love. These stories need to be told. I didn't have access to these stories when I was younger to realize that perhaps some of those things that I was feeling were normal and had a label, because I didn't think I fit into the boxes that I saw in most of the media. But I realize now that there is a place and there is stories that speak to each of us and validate our human experience. And that is so critical for our children to have access to when they are old enough to understand it. And I personally believe that high school is a perfectly appropriate place for that to happen. Furthermore, I would argue that there should not be any censure of books in our high school libraries specifically. Now, probably not certain books, not saying the high schoolers should be reading 50 Shades, but literary books of great value, books that tell the stories.
Time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Williams, is anyone else signed up?
No, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. That ends our public comment period. All right, moving on, upcoming meetings. Our next school board work session is Monday, June 5th, here actually in the third floor conference room at 6:59 p.m. Then our next regular school board meeting is June 26th, here at 6:59 p.m. Will also be my last one. Board member comments. Do we have any comments before we go? Go on, Miles.
This is like one of my only times to talk, okay?
I somehow doubt that.
All right. Just giving a couple of events coming up in the next couple of weeks at the schools. The AP Capstone program will be having a little recognition ceremony. As a member of the AP Capstone program, I saw firsthand how hard the AP Seminar and AP Research students worked this year, so please come out and support them. That is on the 18th at 7 o'clock. And Mrs. McCracken will be running that, my English teacher. There will be a lot going on that week. There's an art show on the 17th. That is the district-wide art show. Also on that night There is a middle school choir concert. Please go support the 6th graders. They have been working very hard on this concert. My sister has been talking my ear off about it, and I will be there too. So please go support our performing arts programs. And there's also another choir concert, 7th and 8th grade on the 18th as well. That is also at 6:59. And if you want to come and support the high school choir, I am also a part of the high school choir program. That is on Monday, May 22nd. Also, I forgot to mention my amazing teachers. Thank you for all you have done this school year. Shout out to Mr. Green, Mr. Bouchelon, Mrs. McCracken, Mrs. Shank, Mr. Martinez, and I'm missing one. I will remember it at some point. It may not be now, but I will remember. I will remember. And last but not least, I would like to say, please keep Cougar Elementary in your prayers. Please check up on the teachers. A lot of them knew Mr. Greco. I never personally had him as a teacher, but I was connected to a lot of students that did. And I just really don't want his tenure and the amazing students that he touched to go unnoticed. So please check on your teacher friends at Cougar, check on your students, former teachers, and help out anywhere you can, because this is a community. This is a tight-knit community, and we're going to help everybody get by. So thank you.
Mr. Lanier, just a quick question. I had it written down as 7:30 for Thursday.
7:30 to 9:30.
Yeah, can you
I was
double
told
check
7
that
o'clock,
for
but I
us?
will make sure I
That
check
might be 7 o'clock for you to make sure that you're, I'm not saying anything.
I think it's 7:30.
I will be there for long because I'm going to try and go to the choir concert. But
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to...
I'll make sure I let you know.
Yes. All right. We are going to take a 10-minute recess.
Wait.
Sorry.
Yeah, I got a couple more.
Okay, sorry.
So I just real quick, Miles, I can't believe you didn't mention that prom is this weekend, and congrats to your peers. But please just, all the kids out there, have fun, be safe. And then also, again, my thoughts and prayers are to everyone who knew Mr. Greco. I loved that guy, and I really, wish all of you, some peace, but, he will be missed.
My condolences as well to Mr. Greco. He will be missed. Also, I'm going to be, want to say congratulations, or not congratulations, good luck on your SOLs over the next week. So, and also thank you to all the public speakers today, or the commenters. It's appreciated. Community input is always valued. Thank you.
I always stinks to go last, but just again, remembering Mr. Greco and his sweet spirit, and my thoughts are with everyone who has felt the loss so keenly this week. Also, thank you for Teacher Appreciation. SOLs are coming. I will see you Thursday at the capstone. Some of your preceding seniors were a little upset, like, we didn't get a yes. So you're blazing new ground. Congratulations for that. And with that, as I was starting to say, we have a 10-minute recess. We have some business to do in closed session, which has us leaving the chambers, but we have 10 minutes to clear the room and move on to our next thing. So with that, I'm going to call a recess. And we're going to need to bring our laptops for this one.
I get to go home.